Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm David Allen.
And I'm Regina Mobley. Janet Roach has the day off. Right now, we're seeing some activity on radar, scattered showers and storms across the region.
But it's still very hot and humid on this first day of summer. 13 News Now Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lawson joins us now with a look outside.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it is hot, it is humid, so we're seeing some of those storms start to pop. Right now, this is pretty much what we call isolated activity locally. Scattered, though, as you mentioned, out in Central Virginia, not too far away. Right now, the only real shower and storm complex we're looking at is moving out of Virginia. It already has moved out and is now in North Carolina. And really, for the most part, the heaviest stuff just starting to move offshore. It's right over the Outer Banks. This is between Duck and Corolla. You can see right here, right along the areas near the water. Hunt Club Road, for example, had a little bit of a shower just formed about half an hour ago over Hampton, and then now is out over Willoughby Spit and in the process of weakening as well. So current temperatures are also big news. Right now it is 87, but it feels like well over 95 degrees out there. Northeast winds right now at 7. That has dropped it back a little bit, at least right near the coastline. But notice as we go through the evening, isolated action for the most part the next few hours, or a couple of hours at least. Then we start to get a little bit more working its way in late this evening and even into the overnight as well. And maybe even tomorrow morning, we're going to still have some of this left over before another batch comes in tomorrow afternoon. So that's what we'll be talking about. A little bit of an up and down temperature forecast, but eventually cooling. That's what I'll discuss.
All right, thanks, Jeff. The immigration debate takes center stage in Washington, D.C. One GOP bill fell flat today, and there's not much hope for another measure that will be voted on tomorrow.
The president has signed an executive order to stop his own policy of separating migrant children from their families detained at the southern border. But there is no plan for what happens to the more than 2,300 already split up.
I also like to ask you how I can help to these children to reunite with their families.
First Lady, of course, speaking at the Center for Immigrant Children in Texas today. Also today, dozens of kids descended on Capitol Hill, wrapped in Mylar blankets mimicking images of those migrant children held in cages.
That's just one of the many protests going on around the country and at home. Activists are gathered outside the Republican Congressman Scott Taylor's office. That's
at the Virginia Beach Town Center. The activists are calling for changes to immigration laws. 13 News Now reporter Chanu Hur is live in Virginia Beach, where the protest is just now getting underway. Chanu.
Well, guys, right now I'm at the fountain near Town Center, where there are some protesters here gathering and some over by the congressman's office. But the ones here have come out to demonstrate how they feel in many different ways. Some writing names of children on the sidewalk here in chalk. Others bringing out signs like these. This one says, "No human is illegal." This other one says, "Trump and Taylor, human rights violator." And these people came out here to get Congressman Scott Taylor's attention, and he didn't shy away from commenting when I got in touch with his office earlier, and neither did Senator Tim Kaine. The images have captured headlines, these pictures sparking debates across the country. Children of undocumented immigrants detained, kept in cages. Now the separation of families at borders policy has boiled over emotions in Hampton Roads.
This cannot be our legacy. This cannot be our story here.
It's brought together Kimberly Tucker's group Indivisible 757 to protest in Town Center, calling for Congressman Scott Taylor to stand against this.
Congressman Scott Taylor has come out in support of what's happening there, and we want to make our voices heard and to let him know that this is not an appropriate position.
Congressman Taylor's team responded today, saying in part, parents should be kept together with their children, but our nation's laws must be enforced. Washington Democrats and our Washington handpicked opponent want the families to simply be released in our country, which is counter to our laws. Senator Tim Kaine's opinion contrasting Taylor.
What they found is that America has a moral gag reflex, and they definitely hit it with this family separation policy, which was very, very heartless.
Even with President Trump signing an executive order Wednesday to stop separating families, Senator Kaine and Tucker believe there are still too many unanswered questions to let this go, while Congressman Taylor says he's in Washington working on a new immigration plan.
This is not a Democratic issue. This is not a Republican issue. This is about the moral fabric of our country.
All right, and the protest should be kicking off any minute now. I'll be here for the rest of it. And coming up at 13 News Now at 6, I'll show you how it went. Live from Virginia Beach, Chanu Hurt, 13 News Now.
Governor Ralph Northam orders state officials to investigate abuse claims made by immigrant teenagers at the Shenandoah Valley Juvenile Center. Federal court documents detail claims of the teens being beaten while handcuffed and strapped to chairs while naked with bags over their heads. A former child development specialist who worked there reported seeing kids with bruises and broken bones. The center's lawyers deny the abuse allegations.
Happening now, day 3 of Joseph Merlino's murder trial. He's the Virginia Beach man accused of killing the mother of his child. Prosecutors say Merlino injected Ellie Tran with cyanide on Valentine's Day last year. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton is at the courthouse where several witnesses are taking the stand.
It's been a very long day inside the courtroom. Prosecutors say they have several witnesses testifying today, and they say those witnesses are the heart of this case. What if cyanide gets in your bloodstream? How many milligrams of cyanide will kill you? Those are just 2 Google searches prosecutors say Joseph Merlino conducted on his MacBook computer on January 24th, 2017. A computer forensic examiner with the Virginia Beach Police Department testified he reviewed the hard drive on what's believed to be Merlino's device. The examiner says there were no more searches after 4 p.m. Valentine's Day, the day of Ellie Tran's attack. The next search happened February 15th at 6:25 p.m. Another key witness for the Commonwealth is a Virginia Beach restaurant owner. She says Merlino came to her pizza shop off of Newtown Road every day in January. That owner said in the middle of January, Merlino took a package from the restaurant, but she didn't know what was inside. She told the court she never gave him permission to use the business's address to pick up packages. After her testimony, a woman from New Hampshire took the stand. She has an Etsy account selling items for profit. In late January, she says she sold a vintage hypodermic needle. She shipped it to the pizza restaurant off Newtown Road. Prosecutors believe Merlino picked up the package with the hypodermic needle inside that day. Now, his defense says he was never in town the day of the murder. He was in Victoria, Virginia, visiting family. I'll have much more coming up on 13 News Now at 6. In Virginia Beach, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
The search continues for a recent college graduate in Virginia Beach. Family and friends say they haven't seen or heard from 22-year-old Denise Martin since Tuesday morning. Martin recently moved back home after graduating from Longwood University. Martin was last seen in the Red Mill area of Virginia Beach. Her college roommate says Martin's phone, car ID, and debit cards were left behind. If you see Denise or know where she is, call police right away.
Navy veteran charged with kidnapping and murdering Ashanti Billy can be forcibly medicated. A federal judge made that ruling in the Eric Brown case earlier today. 13 News Now investigative reporter Laura Geller joins us live with those details.
Well, David, Eric Brown was not here for today's arguments, but a federal judge grilled his attorneys inside the courtroom. Also here at the federal courthouse, Ashanti Billy's father. He tells me he had to be here to represent his daughter. Tense moments inside the courtroom as attorneys debated the decision to involuntarily medicate the man accused of abducting 19-year-old Ashanti Billy. Eric Brown's attorneys argued the nurse appointed to represent the Navy veteran at a prison hearing didn't do enough. Brown is at a federal medical center in North Carolina, where court documents show he is getting treated for schizophrenia. Doctors have declared him incompetent to stand trial. Brown is facing a federal kidnapping charge in Ashanti's September abduction.
My heart's desire is that the right thing comes out of this, that justice be served.
The federal public defender said there are procedural protections in place before someone can be forcibly medicated, but prosecutors contend Brown's interests were represented. The nurse was qualified and performed her role. Ultimately, the judge decided Brown can be forcibly medicated. Ashanti's father, Maltoni Billy, tells us he was anxious about this hearing and also skeptical of Brown's mental status. We asked him what his daughter would say if she could see what was going on.
I know that she's like, Dad, yeah, you're doing a great job. You're doing a good job. And as far as for me, she knows that I haven't forgot about her because she's constantly on my mind.
A short time ago, I asked Brown's attorneys if they plan to appeal today's ruling. They tell me they have not made that decision just yet. Live in Norfolk, Laura Geller, 13 News Now.
Thanks, Laura. Tomorrow morning, Governor Ralph Northam is expected to sign the Ashanti Alert Bill. The new law will create an alert system for missing adults who are too old for an Amber Alert and too young for a Silver Alert. Once the bill is signed, it will go into effect on the 1st of July. Congressman Scott Taylor is also working on a bill at the national level.
The Virginia Beach Fire Department is teaming with Joint Expeditionary Base Little Creek Fort Story to dedicate a joint fire station. Officials say they hope the new location will reduce response times for people in the North End and near Shore Drive. This will be the city's first joint-use fire station on a Navy base. A ceremony dedicating the new station is happening tomorrow.